Hey everybody, welcome to our NFL.com Fantasy Football League. This is going to be a step-by-step tutorial to show you how to navigate through the site and ultimately how to play fantasy football. So let's get started. Right now I'm on NFL.com, and the first thing I'm going to do is go up here to the Fantasy tab and click Sign In. We're going to enter in our email or our username that we signed up with. Right now I'm going to use Hannah's. And after you sign in, you're going to get to the fantasy football screen, and you're going to go down here to the right and go to our league, the Tom Brady Bunch. Click here, and now you are in our league. If you click on your name, it's going to take you directly to your team. If you click on the name, it's going to take you to our league home. So right now, here's the home page, and as soon as you come on, you're going to get a news center station right here that's going to give you different news that happen throughout the week. Third year of the charm. It's just going to give you different updates, everything that you need to know about for fantasy football, what players are doing, if a terrible injury happened, anything like that. So be sure when you sign on to check this screen frequently. Right now I'm going to break down everything that's in this league. Like right over here is my notifications. Down here is video. If you see anything that's regarding one of your players, this will say 1, and you can check out a little video on your player. Lineup, once you set your lineup every week, you'll get a notification saying, maybe there's a injury, or maybe you don't have the right players in, or some players on a bye, and you'll get a notification. Waivers, if you want to pick up a player, say in free agency, in other words, one of your players got injured or he's just not performing well and you wanted to pick up someone new, you are going to get a waiver order. And depending on what your number is, will indicate your priority in getting that player that you would like to add. And I'll go over more of that later. And trades, if you would like to trade with somebody else, it lets you notify if that trade went through. So on the home screen, if you scroll down to the bottom, this is our divisions and all the teams that are in them. So right now I'm in Division 2, Hannah's in Division 1, and you can find your team where you are. By clicking the Schedule tab, you will see everyone's schedule, who's playing who week to week, and you can check out Week 1 all the way through Week 14. So this is Week 1, and here's the Playoffs tab, but obviously we're not that far yet. Over down here, you'll see the activity in our league. Right now, I've posted a little message that you can respond to if you'd like. And this shows you everything from discussions to transactions, if people add players. And then down here in the bottom right, it'll give you, player news, and it'll tell you exactly what, big-time players are doing in the league if you ever want to check that out. Over here on the right, when you, say on Sunday you want to check to see how everyone's doing, this is just a little scoreboard that'll indicate what everyone's doing for that particular week. So up here I'm going to go through all the individual tabs. Down here you really don't need to be concerned too much with all these different selections, but you will need to go to My Team. Now right now we don't have any players. We won't do it until the draft. Right now it says 20 days. Just ignore that. I'm going to set it up to be a different time that's convenient with everyone. But as you can see, these are what you're going to be using. You're going to have 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex player. This field right here, you can put in a running back, a wide receiver, or tight end. It is up to your choice every week, but you do have to fill it. You also have a kicker and a defense. And then you'll also have, depending on how many rounds there are in the draft, I think there's 16, you'll also have a list of bench players. So every week it's going to be your responsibility to make sure that these positions are filled. You'll have a list of players down here. Obviously there's none right now because we haven't drafted any yet. And your responsibility will be to put them in their required position. So if you see that, say you have Peyton Manning and Joe Flacco. If you normally would have Peyton Manning up here in this position and he is on a bye week, which means he's not playing, then you want to come down here to your bench and replace him with Joe Flacco, who is playing. If someone's injured and they're not going to be playing that week, it's your responsibility to switch them out. And up here you can see projections, which in other words means how they expect your player to do that week. So you might see before the game start that you're projected to get so many points. but you know, those always don't hold true. Anything can happen from week to week. If you continue going up, you can add or drop any player. Like I said before, you can add, there's going to be a list of free agents. So if you see that someone's performing really well that's not on your team, you have the choice of dropping one of your current players and adding another. Obviously, these aren't highlighted right now because there's no players to add or drop because we haven't done our draft. Once you do add a player, you will need to drop one. You can only have a certain amount of people on your team at a time. It will notify you about those numbers. And say, you know, I would like to pick up a player and Hannah would like to pick up the same player. Whoever has the worst record in our league will have priority. Just like you know, drafts in college or NFL, the worst team has seniority, has priority in picking players, and that's what that waiver was. So up here is the Game Center, which will be the next tab we're clicking on. And this is just showing you a bigger portion, a blown-up screen of what you're doing in your matchup this week. So this is the Belichick yourselves against the big Tabasco. I really like that name, by the way. And it's just showing you individually what your players are doing. And it'll add up your total down here. You do not have to worry about calculating totals or anything like that. This will do everything. And if you want to check on how anyone else is doing, you just click up here and it will take you to that matchup. Players, like I said, it gives you a list of all the available players and how many points they're projected. So this is just showing you last year, 2012 seasons, and it's showing you what the different quarterbacks, how many yards they passed for, touchdowns. And when we do our draft, which is up here, in the lobby when we do our draft, don't worry, you don't have to know about all the different players and all that stuff. There actually will be listed for you how they did last year, who's recommended to be picked. And you know, everything will be self-explanatory, so you don't have to worry too much about that. So this was just a really quick breakdown of how to do everything. You will need to, like I said, go through here, make sure your players aren't hurt, make sure that once a week you at least check it, and just make sure that you have everyone started that needs to be started. Up here they have player news, injury report, so you can always check to see who's hurt and who's not. Like I said, right now, no players to display. So that was just kind of a breakdown of our fantasy. If anyone has any questions, feel free to give me an email, or you can always go down and post it to the discussion. I will be checking and making sure that your questions are answered. And I hope everyone has a great time this year. It should be a lot of fun. I know a lot of you are new, but don't worry. You can not have any experience at all and still run away with the whole thing.